They're rated like 89%. 80, and I said, no, I don't think so. I like the Ruskies, but not that much.
Dun, 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 dun. And art. Oh, not the right thing.
I know.
Hello, Art.
Hi there. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
It's an
Good.
Sure.
They shut off the lights on you?
Yeah. We're having
There you
technical
go.
light problems.
Technical light problems. Okay.
Or see if the newfangled remote doesn't turn the lights on.
It says do not touch.
Oh,
Last time we were here, it said do not touch.
Do not touch.
Oh, okay, but we didn't have the fancy Nancy. Lighting. They decided there was a more romantic attitude. For us.
They added some IKEA lamps in here and
okay.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
That's gonna
Right.
scary pumpkin.
Very cool.
it's Halloween after all.
It needs a minion outfit to sit on top of.
I thought buying a bunch of those pumpkins and just setting them around and having that in the center be like a pumpkin patch.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Art can't see it.
Oh, that's cute. Is that ceramic or what?
No, it's actually foam rubber. So it was
Huh.
super easy to cut out. But it took a little bit to actually get it.
So that's your eyeballs?
Yeah. So that's one of those round ESP 32
Yeah.
displays. And I increased the size of the eyeball to actually fill the screen. And now it changes color, which I don't know if you can see it changing color.
Yeah, it looks kind of blue greenish to me.
Yeah, it's
Like,
probably too bright for the camera, really.
Yeah.
But it only has the blink animation and the look left and look right animation for it as well. So it's not too bad. It worked out pretty well, actually. Once I finally got the cutout deep enough for it for the thing to fit in there, it actually turned out pretty well.
So the pumpkin was solid foam all the way through?
Yeah, when I first got it, I thought it was kind of a plastic. It's kind of got like a plastic coating over it.
Yeah.
But I started like pushing on it a little bit and realized, oh, this is actually foam. This might actually be better. Foam might actually be a good thing. Because I was
As long as it's not flammable.
Everything's flammable.
burning pumpkin's just as amusing and entertaining as a non-burning pumpkin when it comes to scaring people.
But yeah, I'm thinking about going back. I got that little pumpkin at Walmart for about $1. And I'm thinking about going back and grabbing some more and like make a little pumpkin patch for it to
That'd be cool.
stick
And
its
it's
eyeball out.
as well within your budget limitations there.
Yeah, put that in the center and put little pumpkins around it.
I think AliExpress, you can probably do better than $1.
They had a whole bag
And they'll be here by next year.
next year.
Was gonna say,
They had a whole bag of different sizes, and I think it was $6 or $7 for them. I thought that would be the ultimate, the
Yeah.
ultimate.
You know, hold like those. You can put what eyes in crooked.
One T Intel. You can actually probably boot off of that. Let's see, what would be on that? That might be my installation of Linux Mint. So
That's a heck of an upgrade for
Stuff's getting silly.
something.
SSDs, yeah, that thing's now down to $50 or so for the Intel. And if you go for no name, there's
You get a 4 terabyte now for like 130 or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, crap, I knew they were gonna keep coming down that fast. I would have waited and picked up 4 terabyte ones.
that has the tri-wing in it. There's like 3 different sizes, and if what you need isn't in there, I've got another 2 sizes over here.
Yeah, you think about that and you bring mine.
But they're like Phillips. You can use a larger driver and a smaller screw. It works pretty gracefully. Don't go the other way though, you'll just break a bit.
So yesterday I had to charge this up. And then the green battery light actually started flashing green. And I'm like, why is it flashing?
100%.
Green, flashing green means 100%. And I'm like, okay, what is your deal, battery?
And why is it flashing right now?
Oh, because it's in standby.
Ah,
Yeah, I probably ought to take it out of standby before I take the battery off. Some reason it doesn't gracefully exit standby when I,
well, yeah, that's standby, not hibernation.
yes.
I disable standby and occasionally do hibernation, but not often. It boots quick enough, I don't care.
Yeah, this thing boots really, really fast, but just
So it's almost certainly already got NVMe.
actually, I was looking at it a little closer, and what it says is in there is right.
I was saying, probably got a SATA.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
A spinning drive?
No, it's a
Oh,
solid state.
yeah.
But it's
Then you may not be able to use that chip.
but I can use that on my desktop
Okay.
because there will be. I am not going to put that or let that go to waste. That is my desktop machine only has 256 in it, and
So,
it's got 2 slots, so I can leave my boot drive
oh, nice.
and put that in for storage. And I'm like,
Honestly, what I would do is, yeah, use both. Do everything off of the 256 and just do a rsync to that thing as a backup. I've got a script that I use that does the initial rsync takes 20 or 30 minutes, whatever. But after that, you can do one every 15 minutes and it takes 20 seconds.
what did I in there? That's not the right.
Technicality.
Got to plug the camera in. That was too bad. That looks like a regular Phillips. Could have known that.
So what do they have? A bunch of
That's
floor
right.
lamps in the room there?
Yeah,
Two relatively little ones,
Little IKEA floor lamps.
or at least relatively dim. They're physically large.
Okay, that's the right size, but these things.
Possible they're other hand thread. Not likely.
Oh, left-hand thread?
That's possible. I can't imagine why they would do that.
Yeah, there's no reason for
They're
that.
probably glued, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have the Loctite in them probably.
Hold on.
Do what, Art?
They probably have Loctite in them to hold the screws in place.
Yeah, I would expect that on a rugged thing.
Yeah, it's actually not. It won't go down into that hole all the way.
You have something sharp you can put in there to clean out the slot?
It went down in that one just fine. Went down in that one.
Here, you can probably get me to work with this one.
I don't know. I don't know, Art.
You need a little bit of acetone and that stuff will soften right up.
It's not. It's not budging.
Just a drop. It's like fingernail polish remover.
Yeah. Don't have any of that either.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
Carver
yeah,
across the
Steve's
table
got
here.
some, yeah.
Do you know, do you have a list of what size that actually is?
It's listed on the bit.
It's listed on, well, of course it is. In the middle of the dark.
And I've got a,
Okay, so that is a Y.6. That looks like it's the right size.
really, points, okay, so I've got a 1 and a 0 here.
Well, no, it might be a little loose, but
I would expect it to be a 0.
let's see what the 0 looks like. The Y1 is huge.
Here's a 0.
Something's taking you down.
Ah,
Yeah, I got
yes,
pretty-
the 0 might actually be better.
I've got a pretty bad connection.
Oh, is that what's going on? No, okay.
What kind of a head is it?
It is
Phillips?
it's a Y tip,
Uh,
a Y wing.
3
Oh.
Phillips.
A tri-wing or whatever they call it. Yes, it's
So
just
it's-
not budging that.
So it's 3, it's like a
A Phillips, but equally spaced with only 3 blades.
so it's like a chicken foot or a peace sign kind of a thing.
It's like that you can't see.
Yeah, that's
It is, it looks like the 0 does fit better than the 0.6.
there should be a 0 in that set too. They're kind of spread out.
I didn't see it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Marla got me that set, and I really like it. But I don't tend to carry it with me, so I don't use it nearly as much. But this little set, I always had with me. I mean, never leave home without it.
Never leave home without the set.
Oh, here, I got a regular flashlight too, if you want.
Nah. I think Art's probably right. Need to drop some acetone or something in there and see if we can break the.
Yeah, you don't want to put a lot in. You want to just get some
Yeah.
on the tip of a
Because it isn't going,
pencil or something, drop a drop in.
it isn't gonna just remove the thread locker, it's going to slightly melt the plastic.
Yeah.
Now, that's the reason you don't want to use very much.
Slightly molded plastic.
You're through it.
I have a set of backward drill bits just for doing that sort of thing.
So this bit actually goes down. I can feel it actually hitting the. That one's loose. That one loosened up. One out of 8 of them, actually. So this is a nice set, but it didn't really work.
Is this short today?
No, it's regular. Yeah, next meeting, which will be not next week, but week after next.
Is that the short one?
I think so. Let me take a look here.
Makes me wonder if they didn't use 2 different sizes of screw, because that one loosened up too.
Highly probable they could have.
That one loosened up. Huh.
Yeah, the next meeting is the 19th, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget how this thing works.
I think Vicente said he was going to be in California again.
Yeah, he said he was traveling this week, but I don't know if it was California or someplace else.
Yeah.
His daughter's out here at Stanford right now, I think. They've started the school year, so the fall semester.
I wonder if I've stripped that.
And she has orientation week this time because this is her first year there.
Right. Almost makes me feel like they've used 2 different size screws.
Is that X on the end of Grand Poobah? Has that always been there, or is that a
I just
new-
logged in when I logged in one time. I put the X on it.
So like you say, well, this is at home with you if you want. Bring it back next week or something.
Well, I was going to go and see if it's these the bottom 4 screws that just feel the top 3 are out. So don't turn it upside down or anything. We'll lose tiny little screws.
Yeah.
Then I'll have to see if it's just me or It almost feels like maybe those are a different size.
There's also one on the other side in the middle.
Is there? I missed it. Okay.
Okay.
That's not very legible, is it?
It could use a little more contrast, but it's
And
readable. I can see it.
I wish I could find, oh, there's more there. They're helping me a lot.
October 9th, 5 PM to 6:30.
19th,
It's 19th.
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
had to reconnect her. Why can't I use this today? It's smaller than normal and
Because look at out on the, they have changed something somewhere.
editing mode, normal tag. Okay, I just want to change the color. Okay, there's one. That's that color. Where's the background color? Okay. Oh, for that, for this one, I should be able to say boing, and I'll just make it black. Be different. There we go. That's the back. That is the background. Okay. At least you
Yep.
can see it now.
Zoom has changed something again. This is the new Zoom client from yesterday. I updated, and now everybody's
you for that.
big. Everybody's big, and there's not in a little bubble floating around. So
Okay, so now stop sharing that. Okay. Weird. And I was actually trying to do something which was entertaining. Okay. AliExpress. Okay. AliExpress and enter the screen.
Did you guys see that they're selling C3PO's head in an auction
no,
here in another week or two?
I unless three PO's head goes for like $10, I'm afraid I'm out of the auction.
Yeah, I heard it on the radio on the way over. It says they're expecting to fetch over $1 million.
I would think so, unless it's
Say it, but they probably are gonna be really close.
one of the
The original head from the.
yeah, if it's the original, I could see $1 million pretty easy.
Plus they said that there's gonna be Batman's out costume. And
Which version of that?
I didn't say, I was kind of curious about that myself. And then Indiana Jones whip from Temple of Doom.
It would be one of those dream things if I
Yeah,
won the lottery or something. I'd get like a Michael Keaton worn bat suit or something. That would be pretty awesome.
I'd love to have
Build it in my back cave and in the back of the house.
I wanted to build a C3PO head for, since the Raspberry Pi came out, and use that as the computer case for the Pi.
Mhm.
And have it sitting on the desk as a desktop. I like to
As
plug the USB port and, as the eyeball for the keyboard and mouse.
much as C3PO is iconic, I always liked R2 better.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love R2D2, but yeah. I just thought clutter of techie gunk sitting on the desk would make a really good computer.
Can you share that link to that in the chat?
Yeah, it's already there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, if you wait for me, you're backing up. Yeah. there's the IoT thing for your overhead lamp is what I'm gonna use it for, 16 amps and Wi-Fi. And it has a pair of terminals for your switch. If you want to keep your switch, you probably want to change that to a push button. I don't know if they have options for that, but that's it. $39.
You got it pretty fast.
Yeah. It's a little small thing. It's not big at all. It's about 1 inch square, so it's not bad.
And that's going to work with Google. Yeah, it says Google Home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys see the thing last week on Google?
Probably not.
Um,
What kind of crazy stuff is Google doing now?
what was his name? They tried to cancel him last week and got back on. Russell Brand had a professor on that has been investigating Google for the last like 9 years. And they have captured and have evidence of where they manipulated the election by showing like bogus ads against Trump and all this other stuff to sway votes. And like how they were targeting like Democrats to go out and vote, but not giving Republicans to go out and vote, and all that kind of stuff. And Google didn't think, and there were starting to be like whistleblowers, I guess, leaking that, that was, they were really pushing that, and they were affecting the elections way worse than anything Trump is yiking about. But that they went to file charges against Google over the re-election in Atlanta for Georgia or whatever, and said that as soon as they did that, they flipped the switch and it all stopped. So they knew that they just didn't think anybody was paying enough attention to do that. I forget how many, they said that they're starting to branch out into other countries to just see how much they're controlling what people are seeing on the internet drastically this way. And he was some kind of psychologist, but he was saying that, he thought maybe that kind of stuff would sway 5 or 10%. And he said they started doing studies on their own experiment with the same tactics, and it was like 80-90% effect. It was swaying people's opinions on things.
Wow.
It's kind of freaky. I guess you guys saw the Raspberry Pi 5.
Yeah, already ordered.
Well, I know you knew. I didn't know. I didn't have a chance to bring it up in the last meeting because I had to cut out and leave.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about various things, where to find it at, whatever. And that was
Is it
pre-order.
available? Is it available at the Micro Center yet?
And,
I haven't looked, but I don't think so.
it's supposed to be out by the end of the month, they're saying. The CEO said they wouldn't be out till the end of till next year, but they really, so at least one of the things I was watching, they're expecting that they'll start shipping in another 2 weeks or so.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's October. It is the end of the year.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't know what their fiscal year is either anyway.
Yeah.
And
Well, he initially didn't think it would be available before Christmas.
Yeah, I understand that his initial response was 2024, but he's not wrong. It's the end of the year.
yeah, but getting it 3 months before Christmas means you get Christmas early.
Yeah.
If you're into Raspberry Pis.
So Micro Center has the 4 gig in stock right now.
Do they?
Yeah, there are 5 of them.
What was this guy's name, Barry?
Oh, the doctor, I have no idea. The guy that did the interview is Russell Brand.
Oh.
Yep, and it's only visible on Rumble because we got canceled from all the other platforms.
Really? It should be here on Google News.
Yeah.
Uh,
They took him off everything last week. Yeah.
Oh, there it is, Russell Brand, okay. They knew him, there he is. Government slammed over chilling warning shot over media outlets over Russell Brand coverage.
There's one called something like Google. The first like 30 minutes is about Ukraine. And then the other hour and 10 minutes or something was like about Google. And this guy's research for the last 9 years or something, it was really a little unnerving.
Wants to be a victim of a conspiracy. Russell Brand wants to be a victim of a conspiracy. Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that they're definitely doing it to him.
Okay.
Sounds like he had fun.
A second UK police force joins Russell Brand assassination investigation. He's accused of rape and sexual assault. Man, Russell Brand's been busy. Yes.
So they went after him with both barrels.
Apparently. Russell Brand's Lothario persona has never been funny. Okay. YouTube suspends Russell Brand from making money off the streaming site after sexual assault claims. Russell Brand kicks the Matrix right and the narratives with new TV channel.
He's an odd fellow, but what's funny is when he started doing this podcast stuff on YouTube, he was kind of a left-wing hippie kind of guy, and as he's done more and more research, he's gone more middle, like, holy crap, what the heck's going on, you know? So he actually like interviews people based like old school style, neutral, and questioning of his guests and stuff. It's I watched that episode about Ukraine with the general and Google was very intriguing.
The general?
Yeah. There's like a retired general he's interviewing about Ukraine and what's going on there and how we're getting lied to about how things are going on over there. That Russia's kicking their ass and upscaling and manufacturing more weapons and gonna have like 1.2 million troops in reserve by the end of the year.
So on Micro Center's website, for all of the Raspberry Pi stuff, they have prices available and available October 23rd. So they must be pretty certain. Normally they go coming soon. This has an actual date. And they want $80 for a Pi 5.8.
So can you pre-order them?
Not at Micro Center, but yes.
Yeah, Micro Center doesn't have a way to pre-order anything.
Really?
Yeah.
But they do have a book I want to get. Programming Pi GUI in C. $3.
Yeah. Well, for $3. I found there was a library I had come across a while ago that basically would let you program a GUI. Like dirt simple, like replace, like how the Arduino has like the GFX libraries and stuff. You just replace GFX with this, and you build a GUI, and you could compile it for anything. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
And so next generation will be able to puzzle program it together with puzzle pieces, I think like Scratch or something.
I had no luck. I apologize.
No, you're all right.
I think I backed the one in the corner out some,
It does look like it came out a little.
but yeah, just gotta push down hard and twist. Mostly it's the push down hard part.
Yeah. Well,
One of these, you can knock it loose with like a little.
but that bit was a 0. So that is the correct bit to order. Now I know what to at least look for. But I think the is 0.
Do you have a
Oh,
4mm handle?
I will, when I order one, I'll order the whole kit and everything.
So this driver comes with both, I think.
But I've got a kit that's already got some handles and stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can take the bit.
Well, seeing as how right at this minute, this thing says that it's fully charged and it appears to actually be fully charged, I will probably have the best luck of finding the bit on AliExpress, an entire kit of bit. A kit of bit for the same price as the one on Amazon.
I got this set at Myers.
Okay.
I was planning Myers one day, getting bananas or something. And for a while, they were carrying text and tools.
Yeah.
I really liked. And I had this thing there for $20. So I got one. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. So I actually bought one for my boss and for Parker, kid. Parker promptly lost about half the bits. You still have every one of mine.
Then you don't let him borrow it.
I do not.
Well, me and Dad have separate tools.
Yeah.
I know where all mine are.
When MCN went out, I bought what they called a security
Mhm.
bit set. It's nowhere near complete. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Well, that's what it was 30 years ago. It was fine, but now there's.
Is
it
it-
doesn't have any of the Y bits. It doesn't have the weird two-prong.
It's a clutch head. So that the Y bits aren't technically considered security bits. I disagree, but whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely more harder to deal with than some of the other bits that I've.
But it's because nobody carries them in a regular toolkit.
Yeah.
And it's all those with the little pins holes in it, or the where you got to have the hole in the center.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I call security bits.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have any of those. It didn't have any of the Nintendo bits. It didn't have any. So I don't, as a bonus, it was cheap. It was dirt freaking cheap,
Yeah.
especially when they closed the doors, but it
Was it
Also-
the set in red rubber 1/4-inch drives?
no,
No.
I say that's what I had way back in the day.
no, it's
I did laptops. I got all
It-
nicer one.
it's not as nice as your set, but it comes in a nice-ish case.
Yeah.
And it's a see-through case. You can see all the bits and everything that it's in.
That's
And the bits are decent size and length. The only real problem is even though they're long, the actual bit tip, it
is only 1/4 inch.
yeah. The bit itself wouldn't fit in this hole. The tip might fit, but it would just fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it had 20, maybe 20, 25 different bits, but none of them would be what I would consider security bits. Various size, very small Phillips heads, very small straight straights and, some hex heads and some other stuff, but nothing I would have considered a security bit.
Yeah.
I'm in the old Sears. What was it? A Sears pair there in Beachmont? It was basically an industrial tool place.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
The only Sears tool place I remember was up on Creek Road, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a warehouse up there. And next to it was a smaller building that sold a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah. But I just, when I used to tear down hard drives, we get the magnets out, they had the whole, like you could go buy the actual like hardened drivers all the way down to like 0.2 or T.2 or something like that. And then they had like the screwdrivers, which had a shaft on them like that you could put in the CRT tubes.
Yeah.
To take the base screw out on the monitor.
I remember those screwdrivers.
Oh man, I never had one of those, and they sent me out to fix a monitor at Scarlet Oaks,
Mhm.
and I was like, looked down that hall, and I'm like, what? And got the maintenance guy and said, hey, you got a screwdriver? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I need it to be about this long, and he looked at me like I was smoking crack.
Yeah, I bought a torch driver off of the Snap-on truck once, just for opening up Macintoshes,
Yeah.
because they had one torch screw in the hole about, that deep.
That might have been why we bought that set. It had some Torx
Mhm.
bits and we worked on one Macintosh, so
Yeah.
we needed. But still nothing that I would have really considered security.
Yeah,
They were pretty common bits. It's just you had to have the right bit to do it. But,
I need a Phillips bit right now, something about like that. To adjust the headlights on the Mazda.
They got that in Harbor Freight now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
For that one, you want much longer, you're out of luck. They'll give like.
Well,
16 inches.
I need a number 2 that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing up, my dad was always like, Craftsman is the lowest quality tool you want to buy. And he got older and discovered Harbor Freight, and then he starts giving me all these tools after I've got a collection of Mac and Snap-on stuff. Like, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. I watched a
yeah.
video on Harbor Freight the other day. The guy was like, I wish this was around when I started being a mechanic. We
Yeah.
could have afforded to be a mechanic.
They're talking about Craftsman losing the warranty because Craftsman's not carried by Lowe's.
Mhm.
And there says some of the parts have a different part number now,
Yeah.
some of the Craftsman, so there's some questions going on about the warranty.
Whether they'll stand behind it or not.
Um,
Well, so Black and Decker said that they'd stand behind it, but then Black and Decker got bought, so.
mhm.
Again.
Yeah.
Black and Decker's been around.
I haven't returned anything for a Craftsman for decades.
Yeah.
I had a knife my dad gave me when I was 14, and I screwed around and I broke the tip off of it. Went up to the Sears store at Northgate Mall and pulled it out and opened it up, and the woman takes it from me and just runs away. I'm chasing after her. She goes to the knives. We don't have this one anymore, but this is the next one up. And okay.
I knew some people that swore by Craftsman. That's all they would buy was Craftsman stuff.
We had a lot of crap.
And then Sears changed and Craftsman changed, and they went, Craftsman's crap. I don't want to buy Craftsman.
I like
Well,
their
They went to China, they were really junky there for a year.
Who has the
Yeah.
best ratchet? You know, who has the best ratchet? Not for socket for mechanic. You're a mechanic and you want a ratchet set.
I have a couple snap-on ratchets that are glorious.
Yeah,
Are they worth it? Well, yeah.
in
I've had
in a
them.
tight situation, I got dad's. This one of the top brands. It's
Mhm.
not a, it's, forget the
Ah,
brand, but it's the best.
Tecton has some very nice ones. They're about a third the cost of Snap-on.
Yeah.
Tecton and Snap-on both have 100-tooth ratchets that just feel good.
That's got some crazy brand stuff too. I don't remember, the one was for robotics, when he was taking that, and then there was something else that was for aircraft.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
got some random bits.
I end up with a lot of Harbor Freight stuff. Just
Some reason.
The ratchet that I honestly use the most, it's because it's in the toolbox that I keep in the car. It was like $8 at Tractor Supply. And it's a spud wrench on one end and a 3/8 and half-inch drive on the other. And it's got like 9 teeth. Clunk, 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 clunk. But
it works.
I've used it as a hammer, I've used it as a spud wrench, I've used it as a
Hammer's a really big part of it.
yeah.
It
It's got a
doesn't
big
come
oil
apart.
hole in the top of it that you squirt oil in once every 5 years, and I don't see how it was put together. I mean, if you look at a Snap-on, it's got a little spiral ring in there that you need
Take
a
out.
pick to get out. This thing doesn't have any of that. It's like they cast it open, put the bits in, and then just bent it closed.
Probably.
But I mean, it's forged. I have used that thing as a pry bar on all sorts of stuff and never been able to bend it. So
I've got a ratchet that's probably yay long that
mhm,
it works better as a pry bar than it does as a ratchet.
yeah.
It's a great.
Wax the end of it or whatever, and then put it in the mold and pour it in.
The
Wax and all that. That's it. Spin.
the ratchet that I've got that yay long and works as a small pry bar. It's probably penny size diameter.
I have
I've used it as a hammer and all kinds of stuff.
also have a pair of ratchets that will fit inside of a Altoids tent.
Oh, cool.
One of them has 50-odd teeth and it's 1/4-inch hex. So it's for bits and stuff. But it's also got a 1/4-inch hex divot in the end of the handle, so you can use it as a screwdriver. I
Nice.
really like that. I'll bring that in next time. And a little bit smaller than that, it has a roller clutch in it. So it has no teeth. You use it with a 1/4-inch screwdriver as a handle to get extra torque. And that thing's sweet. I'm not sure where that is. I think
Lost it or misappropriated it.
yeah. So I worked in a mechanic shop in Hamilton for years, and I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And I had my tools and the other set. If a customer came in, hey man, can I borrow a screwdriver? Yeah, out of the blue toolbox. Like, whatever. And then I had kids. And the blue toolbox had to grow. Geez, I need a wrench to work on my bike. Okay. I actually ended up with a toolbox for each child. And I would, if I go buy them a tool, I'd get 3 of them. I'd mark them so I know this is Parker's, this is Duncan's, this one's Graham's, and I put them in their toolboxes. Graham still has an almost complete toolbox. I think he's lost a few things, but nothing major. Parker,
He's probably cut them half of them in half and welded them onto something.
Parker is probably the child who has the most interest in taking things apart and seeing how they work. But holy crap, that kid can't hold on to a wrench. I find him in the middle of the front yard. Why is it out here? Were you working on something here? No.
That's where I've acquired most of my tools from.
My front yard?
Pick them up on the side of the road.
Yeah, I actually have found tools laying on the side of the road. It's like
Somebody dumped a really nice set out on 125 there in front of Poochie's one day. And they keep redoing that intersection. I don't know what's wrong with the light. I mean, they have torn that up and concrete poured that thing like 4 times in the last year and a half. But there was like 2 or 3 workers out there that were jackhammering, and the guy, you know, I don't know if it was one of their trucks or whatever, but we were sitting in there watching, and he'd like jot across and like bend down and grab something and get to the other side of the road and in traffic, you know. And then when the traffic broke up, he'd come back and he'd do the same thing. He was picking up bits. And my uncle said, "Our guy's getting free bits." And so when we got done eating, he went out there and he found 4 or 5 of them in the, you know, gutter or whatever along the curb. They were like Snap-on or something. Somebody lost a lot of money.
One of my multi-tool, I found it in a parking lot at Walmart, and it's a wonderful multi-tool. I can't believe
Somebody would walk away from it.
that it just ended up in the parking lot at Walmart.
When I was
Went through a hole in a pocket or left on the tailgate.
Yeah, it's actually
that thing is wonderful.
it's actually the same company, only a couple model previous than this one.
Yeah.
It's the same multi-bit. And I'm like, this thing was an expensive freaking jig and mabob. And
Have done deals. You get a whole gaylord of that stuff for a couple $100. Sometimes though, they pull the really nice like Gerber and the other brand out and sell them in lots of 10.
yeah,
It's got a magnet holding it closed, which I really like. Having a magnet with me is always handy.
that's mine is almost identical to that, except it's an older model.
That was more expensive than I would have spent.
Yeah.
That was $145.
Yeah, I think when I looked mine up, see mine, do the things, do they retract down inside when it's open?
Oh, no, you've got one that's got like chain links on it and 2 push buttons.
And this part of it
Slides back.
Yeah.
slides down into it.
I've got one of those also.
But when I looked that up, I was, holy cow, somebody lost this and they didn't complain about it? I'm sure they're complaining.
So
You don't know where to look.
the ex-wife got me the one that like you're talking about with the buttons or something.
Yeah.
I forget, one of my kids broke it. And I'm like, well, it's Gerber, should be warranted. So I called Gerber up and say, I've got this, and then, okay, send it back to us. And they gave me an address and everything. And it came back 3 days later, upgraded, because the one I had didn't have any blade locks.
Yeah.
And they sent me one that had black plastic blade locks on it.
I
And
don't-
this one has blade locks, but it's a little thumb doohickey on the side.
Yeah. So I want to say that mine doesn't have the blade locks.
And every bit locks, even, I mean, every bit. And they're pretty convenient to unlock. this is nice. What I don't like about it is it's very sharp in your hand. I mean, the pliers are great, but using a knife on this thing is
Well,
weird.
see, I think that's,
And that's one of the advantages on the one you've got.
yeah, cause it actually is pretty comfortable to use it.
Mhm.
But I don't think mine has blade locks. I think I can fold the blades back on me, and that's a bad thing.
I've had that collapse and about to take a. Get you.
I had a Leatherman when I was in the Army that had a good file on
Yeah,
it. And I needed to gain entry to something that somebody didn't think I should gain entry to. And I'm with a friend. It's like, can you just file through the lock? I'm like, no, you file through the hasp. First, it's thinner. Second, it's soft. And with a file on a little knife, under a minute, I was surprised. They're like, okay,
mine has a little sole on
yeah, this does too.
it. Yeah. It's kind of a pain in the butt to use, but if you need a little sole for something.
This one's also sharp on the tip, so you can use it for drywall.
Oh, okay.
And it is very sharp. Look at the teeth on that.
You know, I like my fingers.
Mine,
Well, it's a saw, not a knife.
yep, that's about what mine looks like. Mine's kind of dull though. It probably needs to be sharpened.
Yeah, I don't use this one enough. I feel bad about that because I know what it cost. But honestly,
I don't carry it around because it was expensive, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to lose it like the fool ahead of me. Swiss Army knife.
yep. Victorinox Tinker. This has been just glorious, and it's got the little toothpick and
That's,
little tiny tweezers.
I mean, when I was a kid, that was the knife. Everybody had to have a Swiss Army knife.
This bit,
I don't think I've ever had that bit though.
no, I got this thing. I got this at Smoky Mountain Tool Works or Smoky Mountain Knife Works, which I'm going to again in 2 weeks. I'll get another one. And I wanted this knife, the Tinker, and I opened that and I'm like, what the hell am I ever going to use that for? You know, that has been an amazingly useful thing. We have HP blade servers at work that the way they're built, the little lever that you got to pull out to get the blade out of the chassis, you can't get to. This thing can. Pops right out.
It was made for server rooms.
It was. I've used this for
It was made for IT people.
doing knot work, tightening knots. I've used it for pulling wires.
I could see it being useful for knots and wires for sure.
I mean, you get a grip on this thing and you can tug.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a great little knife.
Yeah, I kind of miss my Swiss Army knife.
And it's got skizzers on it, of course.
Yep.
Because those are terribly useful.
Somebody gave
Good.
me one eventually. It's only got like 3 blades. It's a little.
I think the one I had a can opener and a bottle pop opener back when bottle caps were twist off.
You gotta go back to the younger generation. Can't twist them off.
Can't twist them off. Got to get your pocket knife out to get into your soda.
But now they're getting tricky on us. Some of the old beer places where they make their own deer, the tops are not twist off. Ow.
Yeah, it had the toothpick, it had I think it had a file that you could take out. Yep. There's your bottle cap opener
Or your can opener.
or your can opener. Yeah, maybe that's.
I
the
have
bottle cap
opened,
opener.
yeah, it's got both. I have opened quite a few cans with that thing.
Got to eat your rations out in the field somehow.
Yeah, you got your Phillips head and
Hook and an awl.
I don't think mine had the hook. Mine had the sword. I forget what this one is. These are the tweezers, aren't they? Yes,
Gray is tweezers, white is toothpick.
the teeny tiny tweezers.
And I use that toothpick a lot.
I miss my Swiss Army knife. I'm sure I didn't have a hook though. I think I had everything else that's on this.
I have to.
You know, I used to be on a plane like every freaking day,
No, yeah,
but that's been years and I just never started carrying them again. I used to have a nice looking knife. And they made me pitch it. And I'm like, oh, frack that.
That
I have Victorinox kitchen knives.
think
Yeah.
I got
That's
my
heavy.
Swiss Army knife when I joined Boy Scouts. I think that's when I got that.
Like having a knife in Boy Scouts.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I had my totem chip.
there was a Boy Scout knife that had a compass on it. But I think the Swiss Army knife was far more practical than the Boy Scout knife. Cause it had all kinds of stuff on it.
So I've got a little Gauss meter and I found out which way the orientation on these magnets was. So if I'm in the field, I have wire cutters that have carbide blades, so I can cut a piece of fence. I know how to magnetize it so that I can float it on a little chip of wood to make a compass.
Cool.
Though I'm far more likely to have this knife with me if I'm lost in the woods.
Yeah. Pretty sure I had a standard Boy Scout knife that had a compass built into it that wasn't much. It would barely point you in the right direction. And I had the Swiss Army knife, which was far more practical to use.
I found the junky Rambo knife.
From Harbor Freight.
I don't know where it was from. I just remember having one when I was in like Civil Air Patrol and
Yep, that had a compass
cleaning
on
the
it.
shop the other day. I found it. What's left of it. All the stuff in the core is gone and the compass is busted, but the guards all rusted off. It was in a bucket out there in the shop.
Yeah.
I want to throw it away. Dad took it out of the trash, put it back on the counter.
I just used the compass in my nose.
Weighs the food.
So I'm pretty certain this one, Victorinox sells knives as small, medium, large. And I'm pretty sure this one's medium. And this one is very similar. Wait, this isn't a tinker. Oh, yeah, it is. The Huntsman is the same thing, except instead of the Phillips blade, it has a corkscrew.
Yeah, see, I remember a corkscrew. Pretty sure I had a Phillips head on mine now.
I'm not seeing mine. What the heck?
They don't make it anymore.
It's got me wondering where all my knives are.
Oh. So they have the tinker, which is what this is, and they have a deluxe tinker. The deluxe tinker has a pair of pliers as well.
Somebody needs a new knife.
And the Mickey Mouse works.
Well, heck, they'll probably have a super deluxe down there.
We saw you coming, Steve.
Double the money. Got a corkscrew.
This isn't a tinker. The tinker doesn't have the hook. What the heck?
They just changed the name on it for you.
Yeah.
Marvel Lewis.
You want to see the rest of my toys? Well, we
Sure.
got some time.
Well, C is relative in here.
It's
Depends on where you are.
Yeah. AliExpress stuff. Now I'll talk about the robot.
Camera works.
We have a,
What's the light? How do you turn the light on? This is the camera. Okay, what's the light?
Yeah.
I turned off all of those things.
all the motion. I forget what the
Yeah.
was.
Well, I like the camera thing. I'll have to use that.
That is a
It's-
very bright. I don't see it. There it is.
Yeah.
That's a speech synthesizer.
My group session for tomorrow has been canceled for the strike. Yeah,
that
because it's
help
an
any?
onsite. So what's gonna go through, which has nothing to do with this one, but what's going through is the phone appointment I have, physical therapy.
The robot talking in the box.
I don't think so. I don't know what that was that was talking. That's made by DF Robot. It uses a gravity connector, which is I2C or UART. It's a speech synthesizer that maybe next week I can actually demo.
It's got the microphone or the speaker on it.
It's got the speaker on it. Actually sounds pretty good, but it's only female. It only speaks in a female voice.
That's perfect. I don't want my robot to sound threatening.
This one here.
You're saying female's voice can't sound threatening?
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't
That
been
is what I
married.
got in the works.
Unmarried now.
This one here is a voice recognition unit. It's got two microphones, which are hard to see in the dark, but they're right there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got a onboard speaker, which is very, very teeny tiny and very hard to hear. And then it's got an external speaker connector, which I haven't tried yet. But it will recognize 128 offline words, and then you can program your own words into it, which I haven't tried yet either. But amazingly, it actually recognizes really, really well. It's another DF Robot thing. I think that was $17 for that. And the speech synthesizer was $26. And it's super tiny. Smaller than a quarter. It's got an OLED screen on it, little 0.42 OLED screen, which is very hard to see. That is an ESP32C3 with a teeny tiny little teeny tiny screen. Do you have a USB-C cable by any chance?
You've got an A to C.
Yeah.
There.
Let's see if we can fire this thing up. Fire this little tiny screen up. This thing, it's hard to describe just how small that is. I mean,
Half done.
There's no pins.
yes, it's got headers, but
chopping.
How big is it compared to that?
same size.
Ah.
This one's got a screen.
Don't know how many.
Really?
She retired. Or my mom retired a couple weeks ago. Yeah, a week and a half ago. He's already going bonkers. I told her she'd probably make money doing YouTube videos,
Probably too bright.
how to use technology for.
Yeah, that's a big bright. It's saturating the camera.
Yeah, it's probably too bright for you to actually see it. But these guys can see it.
Holy crap, I've never seen a speaker that small. Are you sure it's not
Yes,
dual mics?
I should have where's your magnifying glass, Steve?
there's two mics and a speaker. The speaker's the big black thing.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a display.
Is that a solid state speaker?
Probably. It's horrible. You can barely hear it.
Well, it's for a cell phone. It emits out the side.
Yes, it comes out the side.
I was wondering if it's that directional.
I don't think it's amplified at all. I don't think there's an amplifier on board.
I thought since this one had the mic element, that was a speaker.
Oh, that's a tiny little. There you go, Steve.
Without these.
Change the channel. Yeah. Watch the
That's
news.
cute. Yeah, that's what's in the original Fitbit, I think.
Wow.
So apparently these 0.42 inch screens have become vastly available in China because
Yeah.
everything, all these microcontrollers, M5 Stack was selling one that was just the screen. No controller or anything, just a screen for $3. So these things must have saturated somewhere. They found a market.
Yeah,
They found them somewhere.
but it's
Yeah.
monochrome, right?
Yes, it's an OLED.
Well, they've been doing the color things on the $6 watches that they had that emulates the analogs. Amazing, like $6. Jeez.
Anybody wants one? I bought a crappy Chinese watch.
Oh,
A crappy Chinese watch. So I got
It requires that you run an app on your phone to link the two.
oh yeah.
Of course it needs your phone.
Does it do blood pressure and
It does
oh,
blood pressure, pulse rate.
ooh, wow.
I don't know. Honestly, as a watch, it wouldn't be too bad, except if you touch the screen, it changes the background,
Oh,
and it's just stupid.
yeah, the one that you've got in your hand, Steve, the screen's starting to come up off the board a little bit. So
That's fixable.
yeah, it sticks back down. There's a little bit of sticky back tape on it.
Anybody use Water Panther hard drives?
Do what? Never heard of it.
What?
Water Panther,
How much?
Those were $7.
Oh,
Yeah, a little steep. ESP32, the Raspberry Pi model,
mhm.
same thing.
this did chip shortage.
They were the Raspberry Pis were $10 though. So the C3s were cheaper than the Raspberry Pis for
And it has a display.
and it has a display. So I found on AliExpress. It's basically the same size as this, only it's got a 5x5
LED.
LED RGB LEDs.
Oh, okay.
And they're roughly $7. So I was like, okay, $7 must be
The sweet spot.
the sweet spot for everybody to be happy. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the OLED that I bought from M5 Stack for $3. But these were just so cute. I couldn't pass them up. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I really don't.
Spy equipment.
I think I'm going to probably order a couple of the ones with the LED matrix in them though and see.
Are they the NeoPixels or just
Yeah.
RGBs?
No, they're NeoPixels.
Those
Well-
are getting tiny.
What I have found about here recently, especially with the C3s, the ESP32 C3s seem to be a very affordable compromise between a full powered ESP32 and the ESP S3. The C3 seems to be kind of in the middle. They're RISC-based processors, so they're not quite this and they're not quite that. They just seem to be good enough. But they're also cheap. And cheap is good sometimes. But what I've started to see a lot with these C3s is the more expensive M5 stack stuff that packs a bunch of sensors and stuff in. You could do pretty much the same thing with the C3s at a third of the cost. And I'm starting to see a lot of stuff that looks like it's cloning what the M5 stack is a whole lot cheaper.
Shopping on AliExpress I've been doing it a little bit lately. It's I'll tell you, I don't know what's real and what's not.
I found I didn't bookmark. I wish I would have bookmarked it. I found a company that was selling something that looked identical to the original M5 stack core product, the very first one, which is still 30-ish bucks on M5 stack. And they were selling it for like $10, but it looked identical and it had all the same features except it was a C3 instead of a ESP32. Okay. They're trying their hardest to clone something that has proven to be a successful product.
Well, they're undercutting everybody. Our companies are doing it ourselves. I mean, cutting off all the American companies from their manufacturers and they can't get parts and supplies and putting them out of business.
Oh,
We're doing it to ourselves.
well, M5 is a Chinese company, so the Chinese,
Chinese are cloning the Chinese.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, M5.
Copyright infringement there.
Well, see, they open source.
Well, yeah.
You can't call it an M5 stack, but you could call it an M4 stack maybe, or
Yeah.
a C3 stack. No, that's not at all the same thing.
Cinco stack.
That's Cinco stack. The stacky stack. It's
I'm surprised they don't call one of them a Yoda stack.
the I had seen that happen years ago too. There was another really successful Chinese company that made really good stuff, and then all of a sudden just a whole bunch of gray market stuff hit that might have been them, probably wasn't them.
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about. We're doing it for ourselves. The drill bits. There used to be a company called I forgot. Boss Drill Hog. That's what it was, Drill Hog. But they're like one of the few American made bits. And I guess during COVID, they sold to this lady, and the lady outsourced all the manufacturing in China, and they're shit. Yeah. I was like trying to find stuff to drill stainless steel is getting to be a joke.
Yeah. Dealt with that.
Wow.
It's like your options are because there's what Chicago load still, but if you like spending $250 a bit, when you get past
Tennessee,
the
it's another $200 a bit.
but yeah, this crap gets stupidly expensive after you get past a half inch. And I managed to find or supposedly there was another company that was kind of like Drill Hog, but they look like they're still made in America. But they were selling their bits, and Chicago Load had a couple bits that were on sale on Amazon the other day for like 60% off. So I got data, like 4 bits for like $130. Yeah, I was really shocked to get that one Chicago Load for like $30. I was like, or 3/4. I was like, I wonder if we could need something to monitor Amazon when the next, when the other bits go on sale
Yeah,
for other sizes, and might actually get a set someday.
I always kick myself. I see something like on eBay or something that is a great deal, and you wait just
Yeah, just long enough for it to
5
go
minutes
back to
too
full
long,
price.
and it's
Yeah.
gone.
That's why I found that RAM last night. I was like, you just put that in the bin and go ahead and cash that out. I don't care. I said, I really don't see me getting that cheaper anywhere else when it was $800 at Micro Center.
I need some help. So, I finally was able to actually get this prism. It had the other half of the glasses on it, and me being me went, it's just plastic. Why don't I just take wire cutters and cut it? It did. It went right through it like butter. Instead of me trying to sit there with my little saw, sawing it off. Wire cutters went right through it. Anyway. It will, if I hold it up, this camera will look down now. It'll have a perfect down of whatever's in front of it. So I can read the April tags off of that big map. My problem is I'm not real sure how to attach it to the front of the robot.
Glue.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
Legos,
Adhesive tape.
snap it on the top so you can use it or not. Wait, is that a camera or just a little prism?
This is the camera.
Okay,
This is the prism. The camera is looking,
yeah,
forward.
so glue a
I
Lego
need
to the
it to
back
look
of
down.
it and make
You
yourself,
mean to the top of it?
yeah,
Okay.
and then make a little Lego, 3D print a little Lego arm, yeah. That way you don't damage the cute little Volkswagen car.
So you don't even have to glue it on if you're gonna 3D print, just 3D print your little horse.
Well, you gotta glue something to the prism.
Something's gotta actually hold that. It's,
You can't make a cap
You mean like a clamp?
in your 3D printer, this sits in the little recess and the other side
Oh, yeah,
holds that little lip.
I mean, Lego bumps are
like,
easy to find.
it's got the Lego. Do what, Art? What were you saying?
So you want to clamp it? You-
It kind of needs to stay right there in front of that camera. And I've held it in place. I know it works.
Mhm.
I know it'll read it. Hear that. It's kind of funky.
The other option, since you only need a hole that big, double-sided foam tape, while it's still got the paper on both sides, use a hole punch to punch a hole through the middle of it. Stick it to the front of the car. And peel off the outside. That'll give you a cushiony.
Yeah, that might work. Because I mean, really, the lens of the camera is only if I could get it centered perfect.
They put it on the tape and let it up there.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see the camera.
I have gasket punches if you want bigger than a standard paper punch. But that looks pretty close to standard paper punch to me. And that foam tape is vicious. And then after you're done, put something on there so it looks like it's a cart meant for the front of a Volkswagen microbus.
See, I did think about 3D printing something. I just wasn't sure what.
Yeah.
But sticky back tape might work. There's plenty of surface, especially if it's just needs that little tiny hole to look through. It's not exactly flat. It's
Yeah, that's why I said that foam tape. I think they call it servo tape real frequently.
yeah.
Well, you could breathing with a doorbell.
I kind of like the idea of maybe just sticking a Lego block on it and trying to build a little arm. I got plenty of Legos. I wouldn't even need to print anything.
You print stuff with your printer often and just.
I do, but I mean, it's usually stuff that I don't have readily available or whatever. I've printed some Lego blocks that are at weird angles that you don't get, that would be hard to make if you actually had Legos. So
You do it out of.
PLA, yeah. A lot of times the holes are just a little off, and you either have to scrape them out a little.
I just was wondering how the PLA holds up.
It's not bad.
You know, it doesn't take temperature very well.
Yeah, but I
I've
mean,
heard somebody's phone holder warped on it.
Yeah, mine. I had one in the car. Yeah, I did.
so I've got a PLA print in the car
Yeah.
for a radio mount.
Oh, yeah. Like a hook or something.
It's been in there for years without any problem. And this, I noticed yesterday that it's starting to warp. It's starting to, so that
Global warming.
the heat's
Yeah.
getting to it. And I'm like, oh.
Iron it out.
And I went in the storage unit, I don't know if these parts got wet or if they just didn't take the heat well, but I've got some parts that I had in a box of just old stuff that wasn't useful for anything. I was keeping it because I keep stuff. And I started going through and every one of them was warped and I'm like, okay. So I don't know if it got wet or if it was the heat inside the storage unit. Either way, it pretty much,
I would be surprised if your storage unit got that hot.
that's what I thought too.
Somebody could pretty hot.
I mean, mine did because like 5 units down, they had a fire.
Well,
That's a whole different thing.
these were what I noticed had worked the most out of all that was some old stuff, old prints that were with that Da Vinci when I first had that Da Vinci printer. And that thing was not good. It was good for the time period, but it was not a good printer. So
You seen those new bamboo? They're called?
the really fast ones,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen videos.
I was watching the videos. One of the guys linked at one of those. The effect of wobbling on 3D printing is what it was called. And the guy did like a clip where he put it down on the concrete, did it on his desk, that it was wobbling, and he does YouTube videos all the time with it wobbling. People were complaining about it. And then he did 3 different things. He had concrete on his desk, and then he hung it from a hook in midair and let it, it's wobbling like that while it's printing. It had no effect on it. It was insane to watch that thing just like, because that thing was just going to town. It's like, he was like, I'm surprised it didn't like come off the base.
I have my 3D printer, the one that I'm currently using, on a cart wheel, mainly because I don't have a whole lot of room, so I have to wheel it into the closet to
get out of the way.
Get it out of the way. I have never noticed, I'm sure that it wobbles,
Yeah.
but I've never noticed it. And it prints fantastic. So I'm like, because I was watching some of these wobble prints and I'm like,
Yeah.
I had at the old house, I had a very rickety, not great, 2 foot 2x4 table. And the table was actually starting to sag. So I put 2 IKEA tables up on top and put the printers up on top of the 2 IKEA tables and leveled the legs out so that everything was all level. And I never ever noticed those things wobbling. Those things were pretty steady. I'm sure they wobble. Everything wobbles. But I never noticed it.
Yeah. Well, that guy kind of proved it didn't matter. I like what he said at the end of the thing was like, they were talking about how quiet printers have gotten, because they're using us different ways and they don't make clicking sound and stuff anymore on the newer motors. And the guy was saying, well, yeah, you got 3 things you've got. You can quiet, fast, and precision.
Mm-hmm.
Take 2. Because the fast ones are not quiet.
Gotten to the point where I don't have too many birds' nests, so I don't care that fast. I set the thing up and go.
Fast. I'd like some things to be faster, but sometimes you just don't need it to be fast.
Well, that's I've never really printed anything. That's why I was just curious.
The printer that I'm using now has 2 big fans in it. It's an enclosed printer, and it has, dual extruders.
Yeah.
I have rarely ever actually used both extruders on it, but if the fans are not on, it is quiet. But as soon as those fans come on,
Oh,
you know, I mean, it is like, I'm like, holy cow. And the fans stay on more than they're off.
yeah.
I mean,
I put Noctua fans on my printer. And I don't remember how loud it was before, but I remember when I put on the new fans, it was like, that's better. Noctua fans, they're worth their money. I know
Yeah.
they're expensive, but damn.
I
About 10 or 15 bucks or decibels plus the difference in the frequency makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I really didn't think much about how it sounded until, recently. It was kind of like I was doing something. I was like, oh, what am I hearing? Oh yeah, it's the printer. Why am I hearing the printer?
Yeah. I'm lucky. We have a third bedroom and it's up and so we have an office, dedicated office space
Mm-hmm.
and a dedicated toys space.
Work area space.
Yep. And right now I've got a 6-foot table set up in there and too much junk. But she's got her treadmill in there and
Yeah.
I don't print anything while she's on the treadmill.
Patty came into the computer room the other day and I've got shelves on those coaster things so I could push them out of the ways and move stuff around so I could get to other stuff because I've got stuff. And Patty's like, you know what I've decided? If I give you your own room, you just fill it up with stuff.
But it's good stuff.
It's
Yeah.
stuff, great stuff.
My stuff is stuff. Your stuff is shit.
And because she was talking about me going and getting a 3-bedroom apartment, and I'm like, okay, I can handle 2 rooms. She's like, no, if I give you 2 rooms, you'd have it completely full of stuff. Well, yeah.
They got a meeting room down there at the end, glass in, that has 8 tables in it.
Mhm.
Interesting.
But they're little tables.
Yeah,
Do they have a TV?
no, I didn't see one.
There's a TV at each desk.
Well, we can do this, then sit at the end of the table.
Well, yeah,
Do Zoom in person.
But they're
we-
both, they're made for multiple people. There are people in there now. You could have 8 groups of people in there.
we
Interesting.
did a meeting once in one of those small rooms.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
Like a closet, actually.
well,
Did get warm pretty quick.
do I?
Did get warm pretty quick.
Yeah. But it was an option.
Yeah, we had a come in here one day that did like a craps game, had a little craps game going in one of the little meeting rooms. Yeah.
What's in D&D or something?
I just looked at these lights they've got in here. We were at a Airbnb in Kentucky not long ago with those lights. They've got little USB chargers on them too.
Huh?
They're designed as bedside tables.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what those are.
neat.
They're ambient light. That's all it is. It's just ambient
You
light.
can read by it.
I gotta figure out I got a room, a Google router in one of my rooms that also has a mic in it. And now when I want to use a phone to tell the dial, it's wanting to dial the phone for me, and I got the phone confused. How do you tell it, use Hey Google or something? Gotta change the words.
You can change the action command or whatever. Hey Google, how do I change the action command?
Oh, okay. Yes, I have to go into home to change the one for home.
You can maybe turn it off if you wanted to. I don't
It's
know.
got a switch on it.
Oh,
It's a mic
okay.
switch.
I was gonna say, I have a soldering iron.
Yeah.
The way that I've got one that always answered, no matter where, it always answered. The way I could stop it was hitting the mic switch.
We have an Alexa thing that I'm mostly okay with. But I can't imagine having a Google router with a microphone on it. I'm sorry. That's,
What it is it comes with two, so it actually 3 units.
mhm,
And you get the router and it has a link to each remote one.
mhm.
So it can do your 5 gigahertz
Yeah,
in each room, so you get good coverage is what it's about, I think. And also throw in Google.
Wait,
Yeah, so they can trace where you are in your house and everything.
It's
Yeah.
cheap, it's $100 for 3 units.
yeah, they want you to have.
Yeah.
They give them to you for free too, if you get Cincinnati Bell
Ah.
by optics.
Hmm.
Like here, have Google.
But it is irritating, and then it got my phone confused and I couldn't call then. It didn't know who, it's a Monroe Police Regular. That's a regular, and I use it all the time. And then this thing's giving me grief. Then the phone gets confused and I can't call anybody. And
yeah, me and me and Patty now, we both have the same phones, and when I say, "Hey Google," her phone will answer, and it's not set up.
Mine is at the point where it recognizes my voice. I don't remember how I did that, but I did turn on user recognition as well. You might want to try something like that. So
it's a sneaky little thing. It can catch, I can go out in the hall, go in another room, and it'll still hear me a little.
yeah, mine
All 1984.
Mine only listens if the screen is on.
And that's good, except when I'm trying to use the phone, I got the screen on,
Yeah,
but the home is always on.
yeah.
Just hit the button to turn the mic off on
Yeah.
the home
That's
phone.
a mechanical thing. It should be Google turn off.
Stop listening.
Google family room turn off.
But it's a mechanical thing and it's a button, but is it in line with the microphone or just on a pin on the CPU?
I'm almost positive it's a pin on the CPU. But at least on my devices, it does actually work because it doesn't listen. Or if it is listening, it's not telling me it's listening.
I have a Google TV, so unfortunately it doesn't seem to be listening. There's a button on the remote that you got to hit to make it listen. So I know it works. But
I turned on my Roku TV for the first time in probably 6 months, and it popped up and said something about
74 updates needed.
no, it wasn't even that. It was something about using voice commands, and I'm like, but my remote doesn't even have a what voice commands am I supposed to use? I don't.
I found one today for my Roku TV. I was trying to tell the Google thing to stop, and I said, Google, pause. You know what it did? It paused my Roku TV. Well, I said, okay, pause is a valid command.
My Roku doesn't have. There's no microphone on the remote.
Yes.
As far as I know, there's no mic in the TV. So what is this that you're talking about? Voice commands? What am I supposed to be doing?
Mine, the microphone's on the TV. I found that out by walking across the room with the remote and talking quieter and quieter until it couldn't get anything.
Couldn't hear you. Yeah, as far as I know, it doesn't have a mic.
And it found the Roku upstairs in the bedroom too. I noticed home
Mhm.
found it. So, oh, okay, you do, it's one of those external things.
I've always been able to use Google to do various things with the Roku, but that's always saying, hey, Google, do something, and it,
Mhm.
this was Roku itself saying, use your voice commands, and I'm like, wait a second. You shouldn't have a microphone, you shouldn't even be able to. How are you doing voice commands?
Yeah.
And way I've got the two Rokus set up is, I think the TVs are actually always still on. They just go into some sort of power mode,
Mhm.
low
You
power
just turn
mode
off
or
the
something.
backlight.
And so I'm constantly getting updates. It's just I don't know updates until I turn it on.
I'd rather have Jarvis.
Mhm.
I gotta figure out how to turn off the volume in the one in the kitchen, leave the volume on. I hadn't found that one yet. They found the bedroom, hadn't found the one in the, that's an oldie, it's an old Insignia or TCL Roku.
I don't mind the Roku. You know.
Oh, and you guys, I'm thinking of Mike. They have a program on Roku called To Serve and Protect and Serve and Protect. Well, now they changed the name to it is to You're Under Arrest. That's Canadian police is what it is. Canadian cops is what
That
it
would
is.
be, you're under arrest day.
Yeah. And
What are
then
you
you
up
got
to, eh?
then you got the New Zealand cops. They have their own show. It's the people down in New Zealand are paid off.
What else are they doing?
Oh, it's 10-7, police 10-7 or something like that. But now one Roku I can watch To Protect and Serve. If I go to the other one, it's You're Under Arrest. But it's the same show.
Weird.
Yeah, and you can tell they put it together in pieces because it says don't play the preview. Okay, and then you see skip preview. Okay, and they cut them up little pieces so they can make anything out of it. It's interesting. And so they made a different show, and for the leader, they have a different leader for that show than the other show. But I can't get the other one. If I go to the other TV, I can't find that show at all. I can't find Protect and Serve in the family room, but I can't find You're Under Arrest in the kitchen.
Correctly?
Do what?
Have you got your regions set up correctly? Maybe it thinks you're in England or something.
No, it's yeah.
I froze. We froze. Oh, Barry's moving.
Yeah. You're froze.
I'm froze.
Oh, at least Art still can move. No, I see.
No.
I'm seeing him move. Yeah, Barry's moving.
Look,
It's just you. It must be me. Oh, here's what it is.
It's you.
Yeah,
It's not me.
It was the screen shut off.
Right.
I don't know. We got about 5 minutes. So we are virtual next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then live again the next week. So
Okay, cool.
Just
I gotta
because
remind you every
just
meeting.
because of the way other meetings have infiltrated our Thursdays.
We get paid some. Actually, that might work out kind of well for me. Because we're going to. So the 12th is virtual. Okay, I won't be here, sorry. I'm gonna be driving to Pigeon Forge.
All right.
Yeah. You wouldn't have been here in person then either.
No?
See how you are?
Something happened to the sound.
Uh-oh.
Jim, you can turn your mic on now.
Can you hear me, Art?
Oh, I can turn my mic on. I gotta get back to the red zone.
I got a message a couple seconds ago that said the internet was unstable, so.
Okay,
And then I noticed everything was just kind of
okay,
Glitchy.
glitchy.
Lucy,
Can you hear us now, Art? Something happened with yours.
Art seems like he's